Race fans, start your engines for a non-stop thrill ride.
Brilliant move. That's what drivers do.
It's the most high-octane countdown show ever, bringing you the 10 greatest comebacks in NASCAR history.
We didn't see this one coming.
Something that had never been done before.
From Awesome Bill's wild ride.
He's 2 laps down. I don't think anybody thought he had time.
To Jimmie and Chad going cutthroat.
He's either a genius or the dumbest crew chief alive.
From the king psyching out DW to the man in black shredding the field.
It didn't make you happy, but you know, I did all I could do.
From Kyle's hometown rebound to Allen's impossible championship.
Truly one of the greatest moments in this sport.
Buckle up and hang on.
It's not over yet. It's a long race, God.
It's the 10 greatest comebacks in NASCAR history. This is number 10.
There's something in the air. When you come to Las Vegas, this is one of the most exciting weekends that we have at a racetrack, and we're going to have a great race today, too.
You always wonder, every time we went to Las Vegas Motor Speedway, which was going to be the first Busch brother to get a win at his home track.
5 of them going to the rear because of an engine change, including our pole sitter, Kyle Busch.
And when Kyle was that far back, we kind of wrote him off. And then Kyle starts charging, picking off guys one by one.
Kyle passing Regan Smith, that's for 22nd.
You see the word tenacious. Here's a picture of Kyle Busch beside it.
Boy, Kyle Busch just threaded the needle in that 18 car.
Yes, he has a lot of talent, but what he really is relentless.
There he goes. He's sticking that nose down there. Oh, and he moved him up the hill.
And when he finally broke into the clear, took the lead, you just thought to yourself, there's no way he's going to give it up.
He had to start the race in the back, and Wild Thing is going to win again.
Yeah, baby.
Hometown.
Welcome to victory, Las Vegas. One more time.
To the drivers, maybe those wins are some of the greatest wins, the ones where you just don't dominate all day.
Good job, buddy. Hometown win. Thank you, guys. I don't believe it. This is awesome.
The way it's your home track, it's pretty special. So I was proud of him for that moment.
Number 9.
One of the great dynamics in any kind of competition, but certainly in NASCAR, is the idea of the young stud coming up through the ranks in his first championship fight against a master like Richard Petty.
Yeah, in 79, Darrell had a big lead over Richard Petty, and they said, we're going to protect this lead, and we're just going to inch our way home.
There was Darrell trying to play mind games against the king.
Richard said, I don't think I'd do that.
Battle that went on the latter part of the season, it was kind of fun to watch.
You've got one of the closest championships in history, and you've got 2 of the sport's biggest stars that are going to battle it out.
Every time he looked in his rearview mirror, Richard Petty was 6 inches closer.
It's a drag race to the finish line.
He stays in the hunt for the championship.
Richard, congratulations on a fine run here this afternoon.
We used to win pretty regular up here. It's been a long time since we won up here, but the track was our liking today.
So happened we won the wet race, and Darrell fell out, so we caught up probably half or 2/3 of the points right then.
And he just kept on cutting into that lead.
The king was very methodical. He knew what he had to do.
Petty was consistent. He would get his wins. He would finish in the top 5. He would finish in the top 10.
All of a sudden, the guy that was down and out was sitting in the catbird seat.
Came down to the very last race at Ontario.
I don't think it's really going to come down to Darrell out driving me or me out driving him. It's just going to come down to just whoever's got the best luck on this particular day.
Waltrip is spinning.
The only time in the history of the sport where Darrell Waltrip got psyched out instead of doing the psyching out.
He got so focused on Richard Petty that it really took him off his game.
I think we wound up 4th, 5th, or 6th in the race. Anyhow, we enough to beat him in the points.
And that was a big deal, to come from that far back and to just eat into that lead those last few races.
We never really thought that we'd have to beat Richard or he'd have to beat us. I knew coming out here that I could lose.
You'll hear Darrell Waltrip talk about it all the time. Don't beat yourself.
Petty, who just remained confident, ended up winning that championship, his 7th championship.
Number 8.
Just 2 laps in, one of the favorites to win, Tony Stewart. Engine broken, day done.
We never want to start the season dead last, and Tony Stewart had a long season ahead of him in 2002.
That was a huge uphill battle for Tony Stewart. But in the grand scheme of things, it's just another race in the season, and it's the first race of the season.
2002, Tony Stewart, when he left Daytona, said, Daytona doesn't matter.
What Tony proved to us all is that even though it is the Daytona 500, it is just one of those 36 races.
Tony Stewart scores his first super speedway win in over a year.
It's all about the championship.
And if he rounds turns 3 and 4, he'll score his second victory of 2002. Tony Stewart's Home Depot Pontiac wins the Pontiac Excitement 400.
They got the bad out of the way early, and the good, continued to happen throughout the year.
Tony Stewart is going to win at Watkins Glen, his third win of the season, and his first win at this historic road course. Stewart's your victor.
That's what drivers do. Daytona is the most important thing in the world until you leave there. And if you didn't win, it don't matter. Tony proved in 02 it didn't matter to him.
The Rushville Rocket from Indiana is the 2002 NASCAR Winston Cup champion. Tony Stewart.
Number 7.
And the 34th annual Coca-Cola 600 is underway.
That race, I thought Earnhardt showed me one of his greatest pieces of driving.
I think all NASCAR had to do to make sure that Earnhardt was going to win a race was to give him a bad time.
They're going to give Earnhardt a 15-second penalty for coming down pit road too fast. We just got a message from NASCAR.
I don't think anyone's ever overcome any more than Dale Earnhardt did in Charlotte in '93. I mean, he got 3 penalties.
One of them was rough driving.
He spins Greg Sachs. He gets up against Sachs's car, makes sure that he doesn't hit the wall, kind of guides him to a safe place, and then drives on. Everybody knew that Earnhardt spun Sachs on purpose to get a yellow flag, to get him caught up to the leaders. Everybody knew, including NASCAR, and they did penalize him.
His team is absolutely irate. Earnhardt came over the radio, guys. He said he never touched him. Earnhardt's obviously going to lose a lap here. Here goes the caution car. The first one is by him.
When Earnhardt got that penalty, everybody wrote him off. Nobody thought he could recover from that, but Dale Earnhardt wasn't just anybody.
It epitomized Earnhardt's tenacity. You penalize me 3 times, I'm going to win this race.
Back to the line comes Earnhardt to win it.
Another example of Dale Earnhardt working his magic.
He didn't care if the officials penalized him 10 laps. He figured, until I see the checkered flag, there's still a chance to win this thing.
It didn't make you happy, but I did all I could do just to get the lap back. Got that back, caught a caution. Get back front, hard to believe.
Next, Harvick fighting back and DW turning the table.
He's an afterthought.
Harvick's getting a run.
All of a sudden, here he comes.
Here they come, checkered flag.
Can you believe it?
We had to go out and we had to win.
Darrell Waltrip took the checkered flag.
Every week is win, pole, win, pole.
When the 10 greatest comebacks in NASCAR history returns. Time now for the honorable mentions that just missed the greatest comebacks in NASCAR history.
In 09, when Kenseth started back in 39.
Elliott Sadler is challenged for the lead by Matt Kenseth.
That was a race that rained out, didn't run the full distance, and Kenseth just happened to be in the right place at the right time.
Man, I don't know, winning the Daytona 500 is definitely a G moment. It's just an unbelievable feeling.
Just want to ask everybody out there to say a prayer for Ernie.
Ernie Irvan fights for his life after an accident here at Michigan International Speedway yesterday.
He's now a quarter mile from capping off that comeback. Ernie Irvan, he's back in victory lane.
This is a long way from that hospital in Michigan back in August '94.
This is number 6.
Kevin Harvick starts all the way back in the 34th position. He had a mechanical failure in his dual qualifying race.
Kevin Harvick has developed a reputation over the years of being able to start deep in the field and come to the front and be competitive.
Harvick filled the shoes of a man that was famous for comebacks. It didn't matter how far back in the field he was, especially on the restrictor plate tracks, you could do that.
And sometimes it doesn't happen at the halfway point, sometimes it doesn't happen at the three-quarter point, but when the race is down to the nitty-gritty, somehow Kevin Harvick always seems to be in the mix.
Here comes Harvick, the 29, with Matt Kenseth. Oh, Mark got loose. Mark got loose.
And Harvick's getting a run off turn 4. It's going to be a drag race all the way back to the start-finish line.
A wreck happens. They're coming out of turn number 4. Everyone's waiting.
No caution. They're side by side, right to the line.
Big crash. Here they come. Checkered flag. Harvick.
What made that comeback great is the photo finish that we had.
What was the margin of victory for Kevin Harvick? Unofficially 2/100ths of a second.
That race between Mark Martin and Kevin Harvick to the finish was probably one of the most exciting of all time.
Confetti? Son of, oh man, what a mess out here. Man, this is a Daytona 500. Can you believe it?
Number 5.
81 was an interesting year because, as we all know now, Darrell Waltrip and Bobby Allison were probably one of the greatest sets of rivals in NASCAR history.
Bobby Allison
He had really been on a roll. He had sort of had a big resurgence because now he'd been with some teams that could really put some good stuff out there.
Unrelenting. Allison surges back in front.
But then you got Darrell Waltrip.
The brash, TV-friendly personality.
Even at that time, the nickname was Jaws, and he was not going to hold back. He was running his mouth, but he was running his car, and he was getting a lot of wins.
I didn't have any problems. I really didn't have to race anybody all that hard after the first couple of 100 laps.
Even though we were winning a lot of races, it seemed like we'd win, and then we go through this hideous stretch and lose a lot of valuable points. Why Bobby Allison's team was just being picture perfect.
We won some races, and we ran really good, and I was really proud of it and gung-ho about this whole thing.
When you got up this morning, did you feel like you had a chance of winning this race?
Yeah, I did. We were 300 points behind mid-season to Bobby.
We had to go out and we had to win and win and win again. And Darrell never lost sight of that. He played the mental game against Bobby Allison.
We turned that car around, and from there on, every week was win. Pole, win, pole, win, pole, win. He took the checkered flag a full lap ahead of his nearest competition.
The way you sum up 81 was the owner, and I'm talking about Junior Johnson.
He is the steadying force in that entire racing team.
He knew the driver we had the ability to go out and get the maximum points to overcome the deficit we found ourselves in.
It really established Darrell Waltrip as a true superstar of the sport. He wasn't taking as many chances as he did maybe in the first couple of years of his career. He was driving smarter, driving harder, but he was also driving smarter.
And that was pretty much the way we went out in the end of 81 and wound up coming back with the championship. We got the most points you could get, and we took home the trophy.
Number 4.
Almost 170,000 strong in the stands to watch the 32nd running of the Winston 500.
Everyone was an Earnhardt fan. You were always glued to your seat to see what he would do behind the wheel of a race car, especially somewhere like Talladega.
With about 5 to go, Earnhardt was mid-pack.
Earnhardt back there, running back for about 50 spot. He was 4 wide, going through 1 or 2 good moments. Guess what? Look, he's still 4 wide.
Even though he's Earnhardt, you figure he's not going to be able to come back from this one. He's too deep in the field.
He was down and out. Nobody thought he had a chance.
But then the back of your mind, you're thinking, wait, it's Dale.
It's almost like he could see where he needed to go. He could see the pocket of air that he needed to be in. It was like he was writing the script for those laps.
This guy has raced his way through the field, something that you will never see today.
Here comes Earnhardt. How did he get through all these cars? I don't understand how he did that.
The Intimidator is scraped and beaten on the right side, but he will not be denied.
Laps are precious. The draft is kicked in. He's searching for drafted help. He gets it.
He wound up hooking up with Kenny Wallace.
He's motioning the 55 car of Kenny Wallace to give me a bump. Come on, Kenny, give me a shot.
And he and that 55 just drove to the front of the pack.
And Earnhardt is going for the lead.
And listen to this crowd of 170,000 strong. Dale Earnhardt Sr. has come from 17th spot in 4 laps to lead it.
17th to first in 4 laps. We haven't seen that done before.
Mr. Restricted Place, Dale Earnhardt comes down and will take his 10th career victory at Talladega.
Man, you talk about an epic performance. That, to me, is one of the best comeback performances I'd ever seen from a Cup driver, ever.
Next, Awesome Bill's excellent ride, and Jimmie and Chad go cutthroat.
Most of the people remember me more for that than probably anything else.
Bill's in the car going, why are y'all going so slow?
Chad Knaus demands perfection. You thought he's either a genius or the dumbest crew chief alive.
When the 10 greatest comebacks in NASCAR history returns. Welcome back to the 10 greatest comebacks in NASCAR history. This is number 3.
Elliott was so awesome he began visibly making up ground on the leader without benefit of caution.
I think great comeback. It was Talladega in the 80s. Bill Elliott.
We didn't see this one coming. He has an oil leak, and we think he's out of the race. He's 2 laps down. You don't get your lap back in 1985. You have to earn it.
He was down 2 laps, which means he was down 5 miles to Cale Yarborough. I don't think anybody thought he had time, to get the laps back.
He holds the car wide open, and he just passes everybody like a cartoon, like an animation.
Cale Yarborough, no slouch behind the wheel. Bill Elliott ran him down under green.
Bill's in the car going, why are y'all going so slow? Why y'all going so slow?
2 laps to go as Bill Elliott comes across the stripe. Yarborough, Kyle Petty, Ricky Rudd back to turn number 1. 2 laps to go.
He was so fast that they couldn't hook on to him and draft him. So he made up some laps just out running them on a big track like that, which was unheard of. But they just had that good of a race car, and he did that good of a job of driving it that day.
Not only did Bill Elliott get his laps back, he drove away from the field that one more time and he won the race.
Bill Elliott wins here at Talladega, overcoming almost 2 laps down early this afternoon and coming back to win.
That is one of the most remarkable, one of the most dominant cars.
The caution never waved. He just drove around the whole track twice more than everybody else. It was amazing.
Bill Elliott was out of hand that day. You'll never see it again.
You know, it's funny. Most of the people remember me more for that than probably anything else. They feel like that's probably one of the greatest races they ever saw or ever witnessed. We did something nobody else had ever done, and it was talked about for a long time still today.
Number 2.
Like we spoke about, boys, game on from this point on. 3 races, live and die by.
Texas Motor Speedway, you're running for the chase. Jimmie Johnson wants to win his 5th consecutive championship.
They're at Texas, a place where Jimmie's been good over the years, and they weren't getting it done on pit road.
Watch the 48 right here. Wow. That was a close call for the Jackman.
It wasn't all about Jimmie Johnson this day. It was about his crew chief, Chad Knaus.
Chad Knaus demands perfection, period. And his crew, they weren't giving him perfection. Jeff Gordon is out of the race because Jeff Burton took him out.
Hard contact for the 24. That's pretty good lick, huh?
Chad Knaus, an out-of-the-box thinker, said we need to make a change.
Man, it's tough to win a championship. Sometimes you got to swipe a guy's crew to do it.
The 24 crew of Jeff Gordon is going to go up and now start pitting the 48 car of Jimmie Johnson.
That was a critical decision by Chad Knaus, something that had never been done before.
You thought he's either a genius or the dumbest crew chief alive.
Obviously a move that Hendrick Motorsports believed they needed to do for the betterment of the 48 team and Jimmie Johnson's championship hopes.
Yeah, it was a big deal. I mean, it was not a typical 48 day to change pit crews mid-race. Different. We made the most of it. We had a decent day that day.
The last thing Harvick wanted to see is that 48 getting ahead of him.
It became a brilliant move, and it enabled Jimmie Johnson to go ahead and win a 5th championship in a row.
There's no question, when you look at Jimmie's title in 2010, the defining moment was that move by Chad Knaus to switch pit crews with Jeff Gordon's team to set themselves up for an opportunity to claim title number 5.
4 was amazing. Now I got to figure out what the hell to say about winning 5 of these things. Everybody's going to want to know what it means. I don't know. It's pretty damn awesome, I can tell you that.
Next, the greatest comeback of them all.
Nobody that year gave Allen a chance.
Not over yet.
That's another one of those never give up.
Here's Kowicki trying to get by Elliott.
Allen earned every bit of that year.
When the 10 greatest comebacks in NASCAR history returns. Welcome back. We've brought you 9 great comebacks so far.
He had to start the race in the back.
And Kyle starts charging.
Good job, buddy. Hometown win.
And Darrell had a big lead over Richard Petty.
The King was very methodical.
He knew what he had to do, ended up winning that championship.
Daytona doesn't matter. It's all about the championship.
Here's your champion, ladies and gentlemen, Tony Stewart.
I thought Earnhardt showed me one of his greatest pieces of driving.
Until I see the checkered flag, there's still a chance to win this thing.
Man, this is a Daytona 500.
When the race is down to the nitty-gritty, somehow Kevin Harvick always seems to be in the mix.
Every week it was win, pole, win, pole.
Darrell Waltrip walked away from Ellison.
Even though he's Earnhardt, you figure he's not going to be able to come back from this one.
He will not be denied.
Bill Elliott wins here at Talladega, overcoming almost 2 laps down and coming back to win.
You guys are the best. I can't believe we did this. Unbelievable.
But now it's time for the greatest comeback of them all. This is number 1.
Alan Kowicki was wooed by Junior Johnson to join his team, but Alan decided to go independently, and Alan is showing right now that was the way to go.
Alan Kowicki's championship run was one of the brightest moments in NASCAR history.
He was the first one that really put a team together as an owner-driver that had a chance, that could contend. But nobody that year really, truly gave
Allen a chance.
When we went to Dover, I think was maybe the crowning point of that entire championship.
He had crashed in practice, not once, but twice. They had to go get yet another car to run the race with.
By the time the checkered flag flew at Dover that weekend, he had wrecked 3 cars.
And left Dover with all these torn up cars and no prayer of a championship, no one thought.
That's another one of those never give up. Allen told his team at Dover, you guys work hard and stick with me. I'll work hard and stick with you.
We got a good team, and we're looking forward to the rest of the year, believe me.
As far as comebacks go, Allen earned every bit of that year.
Wins the Busch City 500.
It was the way he did it. To come back from a nearly 300-point deficit in the final month of the season is just unbelievable.
We're coming on to the points, and it's not over yet.
Here's Kowicki trying to get by Elliott. He takes the lead and would win the championship right now.
In the last race of that season, to close the deal like he did, racing head-to-head with Bill Elliott.
It all came down to Allen leading one more lap than Bill Elliott in the season finale.
Kowicki is going to lead this lap by a half a car length.
Here comes Bill back. Takes the lead back.
That's the way to race for a championship.
That's the way to go for a championship.
The fact that Alan Kowicki led one more lap than Bill Elliott that day to win the championship, truly one of the greatest moments in this sport.
There's the checkered flag for Allen. He's the champion for 92.
He invented a completely new form of celebration, which the fans went nuts for.
Remember his first win at Phoenix? He took what he called, and these are his words, a Polish victory lap.
Yep.
And guess what? He's going to do it again.
To do what he did, to win our sport's pinnacle, is so difficult, and he did it on his own, and without the backing of what the guys have nowadays.
Alan Kowicki's 92 championship has given under-financed, low-buck, under-equipmented drivers and teams hope ever since.
That's the way to go for a championship.
He's sticking that nose down there. Oh, and he got him up the hill.
There's the checkered flag for Allen.
This team is absolutely irate.
Hey, we had to work real hard. This is a long race, God.
Here they come, checkered flag, Harvick.